Today on MTG Unpacked, we're taking a look at the Counter Surge Challenger deck, and with me I have Nissa and Liliana to represent the two colors of this deck, black and green. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Power up your creatures with bonus +1/+1 counters from Winding Constrictor and fill the board with resilient creatures that keep growing larger. Leverage the counters for both utility and raw strength and crush your opponent with your superior resources. We get a 60 card deck and 15 card sideboard. So this is more of a mid-range deck between control and aggro strategies. If you like your big creatures, you like to have a lot of counters pumping things up, this is the deck for you. So we get a nice storage box here. Blue die, and what else? Sideboard, divider, quick reference, and a little pamphlet, and the deck proper. And we can already see what the key element of the deck is here. So let's get stuck into this. We'll be talking about some improvement options near the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's go through the mana base. So we have, let's see, a lot of forest swamps, a bunch of different things. Okay, so we start off with Ether Hub. So this gives you energy. You can add colorless mana to your mana pool, or tap, pay energy, and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So if you do not have the mana you need, this will help you get there, provided you have energy. We've got a play set of those. Foul Orchard enters battlefield tapped. You can add a swamp or a forest to your mana pool. I think Blossoming Marsh is the other one. You don't have that limitation upon entering the battlefield tapped, so that might be something you would want to swap in. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and obviously this is the cheaper option, so you would pay a bunch more for those other lands. Hashep Oasis, it's a desert. You can tap, add colorless mana to your mana pool. Tap, pay 1 life, add a forest to your mana pool, or you get to pay 1 and 2 forests, tap, sacrifice a desert, and the target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. So really pumping up creatures there. That would be a nice surprise for your opponent. Swamps, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. Set those aside. Forests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So seems like a decent mana base. Let's get stuck into the deck proper. Walking Ballista. He is a classic 0/0 for XX. So what's that about? He's an artifact creature construct. He enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on him. You can pay 4, put a +1/+1 counter on Walking Ballista, and removing 1 +1/+1 counters from it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So you'll often want to do that if he's in danger of getting destroyed. You just, as he's dying, you pop off those counters and hit your opponent, ping them multiple times. And if he's really big, that can be fatal if you have if you have a huge amount of mana built up. I've seen one game where I got killed by a massive Walking Ballista. It was pretty crazy. Glint Sleeve Siphoner, 2/1 for 2 mana. Human rogue creature with menace. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get an energy. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 energy. If you do, draw a card and you lose 1 life. So get some nice card draw going there. So they're probably giving us a play set of these, correct. Scrap Heap Scrounger, we saw him on one of the other decks. He's a artifact creature construct, 3/2 for 2 mana. He can't block. You can pay 1 in the swamp, exile another creature card from your graveyard, and you get to bring this guy back from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we have 2 of those. Rishkar Pima Renegade. Legendary creature Elf Druid, 2/2 for 3 mana. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Each creature you control with a counter on it has tap, add forest to your mana pool. So you can pretty much ramp up your green throughout your deck. That would be very cool, turning creatures into a resource like that. Dream Stealer, 1/2 for 3 mana with Menace, Human Wizard. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player discards that many cards. And this guy can be eternalized for 4 and 2 swamps. That means you can bring him back from the graveyard as a 4/4 black zombie human wizard with no mana cost. So he's a copy of the original. They probably have, okay, they got 3 of those. Gonti, Lord of Luxury. You'll see Gonti getting around a bit. He's a 2/3 for 4 mana, legendary creature, Aetherborn Rogue. His lovely nasty ability is Death Touch. So 1 point of damage from this guy, the other creature is dead. So when he enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them face down and put the rest on the bottom of that library in a random order. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, you may cast it, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast it. So casting your opponent's spells against them is always fun. Verdurous Gearhulk, artifact creature construct, 4/4 for 5 mana with trample. When he enters the battlefield, distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. This is a pretty nice Gearhulk. They are giving us 3 of those. That's pretty cool. They were quite pricey at one point in time. Hour of Glory. Pay 4 for an instant. Exile target creature. If that creature was a god, its controller reveals his or her hand and exiles all cards from it with the same name as that creature. So get rid of your Scarab gods, your Locust gods, all manner of gods. Very useful. 2 of those. Actually getting rid of creatures as well is handy. Longtusk Cub. He is famous from the Temur Energy, one of the key parts of that strategy. 2/2 for 2 mana. When it deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy, and you can pay 2 energy, put a +1/+1 counter on Longtusk Cub. So keep adding up your energy and beefing up these guys. You'll have a real monster on your hands before too long. So 4 of those. Here is the key component of the deck. Winding Constrictor, 2/3 for 2 mana. If 1 or more counters will be placed on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters +1 are placed on that permanent instead. If you would get 1 or more counters, you get that many of those counters +1 instead. So always nice to get more counters. Beef up your dudes, do a lot of damage. We'll get a whole 4 of those. Blossoming Defense. This is also one you'll see in Temur Energy. For a single green, instant target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains hexproof until end of turn. So if somebody wanted to zap your creature, they cannot do it. With spells, that is. So if they wanted to lightning bolt or a braid or something, that would prevent that. Walk the Plank Sorcery for 2. Destroy target non-merfolk creature. Simple and effective. And we get 2 of those. And this one, Fatal Push. A single swamp. Destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. And Revolt ability is destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less. Instead, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn. This one is quite fun to bring out if somebody's going to attack you with a massive creature and you can trigger the Revolt, then you can destroy that if it's cost 4 or less. Very cool. Alright, the sideboard. Let's see what we get in there. And then we'll go over some improvement options. I've got a few ideas from before the video and a few brewing since getting through this deck. So Dispossess, pay 2 in a swamp, choose an artifact card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand and library for any number of cards with the chosen name and exile them. then that player shuffles his or her library. So you can get rid of your opponent's Walking Ballistas or any other pesky artifact creatures. Okay, single one of those. Lifecrafter's Bestiary, an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a forest. If you do, draw a card. So some nice card draw there. Costs 3 mana. And we get 2 of those. Die Young. Don't see this used too many places. Pay 2. Choose a target creature. You get 2 energy. Then you may pay any amount of energy. The creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each energy paid this way. So if you have a lot of energy, you can zap creatures. So we get 2 of those. Here's something for pumping up your dudes. Cartouche of Ambition for 3. Enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. And enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. So not only do you get to pump up your guy, you get to zap one of the other ones, lower a few or 1 peg. Duress, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So we get some nice discard ability there for 4 of these. Complete playset. Appetite for the Unnatural. This is good for getting rid of target artifacts or enchantments. You gain 2 life, and this one costs 2 and a forest. And they'll give us a few of those. Slice in Twain. Another option, destroy target artifact or enchantment. You also get to draw a card with this, so pay 2 and 2 forests. That is it. So right off the bat, I'm going to say you might want to include maybe 1 or 2 more Fatal Pushes. I think these are probably about $7 or so. Not the cheapest, but could be nice to get some more creature destruction there. Also, I think they cheaped out a little bit on the Walking Ballistas. I can see why they're about $12 each. You can never have too many Walking Ballistas. I would add another 1, 2, 3. I like those guys, very handy. And this one is probably not so necessary. I saw we had that other card there for exiling. This is Vraska's Contempt, costs about $16. Exile target creature or planeswalker, you gain 2 life. So I would suggest a couple of those for the sideboard. However, if we go back through here, we had, I believe, exile target creature. So Hour of Glory is pretty much something to get rid of creatures. It does not address planeswalkers, so you may be out of luck with planeswalkers. Okay, so that was the Counter Surge deck. Leave a note in the comments if you have other improvement option ideas that you think would beef up this deck, make it better. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings, and tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released, and have a great day.